So recently I read this great book. It was called Belonging by Geoffrey Cohen. Again, a little bit thick. That's okay. Really enjoyed it. One of the key takeaways I got from reading this book and how it really related to the neurodiverse community was in the fact that just in the beginning portion of the book, I realized that was one of the things I had originally been searching for in my 20s, was a sense of belonging to something, because it was so clear through the school system and so forth that I had felt like I didn't belong to anything. And that's not a great feeling, to be adrift. I do recall feeling vulnerable. And he talks about that for people when they are craving that sense of belonging, which is an innate part of us. And when we cannot fulfill that and we feel like we don't belong, it does cause us to be very, very vulnerable. So that's what I talk about this week. So the book was Belonging. And this week's article in particular really focuses on the connection between this book and how that goes with the neurodiverse community, with people ADHD, dyslexia, and autism. Again, he talks about the fact that belonging is a core. It's in our chemistry. It's in our DNA. We yearn to belong. It is part of how we've survived so long. It's just part of us. And so it's not something we can avoid or pretend like isn't happening. For most people, it's a very real thing, that wanting to be part of something and feeling like that you belong. Really an important thing. He also talks about some key factors to note. One is affirming identity. So these are practical lessons that he points out. One is affirming identity. One's challenging stereotypes. Another one is creating safe spaces. Another is bridging divides with empathy, having that compassion and that empathy. I also include in the article some questions you could, if you choose to read this book or host it at your book club, and if neurodiversity is part of the topic, some nice questions to ask that relate to that, I think you would enjoy. And it talks about also creating a more inclusive and belonging future for people. And one of the things I really took away, and I'll just kind of wrap it up this way, as we strive to connect and support neurodiverse individuals, the message of belonging is clear. Small, intentional actions can create big changes. Let's work together to build environments where ADHD, dyslexia, autism, and other forms of neurodiversity are understood, respected, and embraced. In doing so, we not only foster belonging, but unlock the full potential of every individual. And I think that's what we're all striving for, is to belong, is to unlock our full potential, is to feel valuable. And so this book definitely points out a variety of ways and has a lot of studies and that kind of information, just reminding us that it is worth finding a healthy tribe that supports you, that encourages you to continue growing, that lifts you up. And that's a really, really important thing. And if you are right now in between your finding your community, finding the place where you exactly belong, you might be, one thing that happens as we grow is we actually have to leave some of the places where we have belonged, but we recognize it's not healthy for us and we might not belong there anymore. And he talks about that also in the book. And that can happen to all of us as we grow. I've experienced that, and I know most of my friends have too. So I encourage you to at least check out the book, check out the summary, listen to the audio. Enjoy the book Belonging. It really was a nice book. Thanks. I'm Joy Gina, International Neurodiversity Coach, helping those different thinkers reach their full potential. Bye now.